dazzling shower of glitter, confetti, and eco-friendly rainbow sprinkles. Screams pierced the air. Champagne flutes shattered on the hardwood. Pamela, draped in a faux mink stole and sky-high stilettos, spun like she'd been tasered, her diamond necklace whipping across her chest as silver glitter splattered her face, clinging to her crimson lipstick. For a split second, the room froze. Then a man in a tux bellowed, "What in God's name was that?" Pamela's eyes, wide with shock, locked onto the chaos's source. My late grandfather's taxidermy elk head, mounted above the fireplace, was spewing red, gold, and blue sparkles from its antlers like a resurrected party animal. Someone skidded on the slick floor. Another crashed into a rigged folding chair that collapsed on cue, and the scene descended into a chaotic circus of flailing limbs and glittery panic. Pamela screamed my name, Lucas Bennett, like it was a hex, her voice raw with rage and disbelief. But my hidden cameras caught every glorious second. The night hadn't started with glitter, but it was always destined to end in it. 6 weeks earlier, I'd escaped the urban grind to reclaim my grandfather's mountain cabin on Pinecrest Ridge, beyond the manicured clutches of Willow Grove Estates. After years as a software engineer, drowning in deadlines and insomnia, I traded skyscrapers for pines, honking horns for owl hoots, and burnout for solitude. The cabin wasn't just a house site, it was my grandfather's soul, built by hand in the 1960s with logs hauled by his mule, Daisy, whose old cart still rusted in the weeds. It held his legacy: goat pins, pine sap whiskey recipes, and love letters to my grandmother tucked under the floorboards. No Wi-Fi, no cell service unless you balanced on a specific boulder, but it had peace. Until Pamela arrived. 2 days after I settled in, a gleaming white SUV rolled up, so pristine it looked like it repelled dirt. Out stepped Pamela, in spotless designer sneakers and a pastel cardigan, introducing herself as the Willow Grove HOA president. Her eyes scanned my cabin like it was a junkyard at a yacht club. I explained, politely, that my property was outside HOA jurisdiction, a fact etched in county records since my grandfather's time. She didn't blink. With a smile sharper than a switchblade, she said the neighborhood had evolved, and visual harmony now applied to nearby properties. She handed me a glossy packet of rules: fence heights, approved paint shades, even tasteful porch decor. I chuckled, thinking it was a prank. It wasn't. A week later, a violation notice was taped to my door, citing excessive wildlife noise, a t-shirt drying on my porch railing, and a non-compliant solar lantern. I called the county, reconfirmed my exemption, and got it in writing. I pinned the letter to my door. By morning, Pamela had ripped it off and slapped up another notice, this time demanding I vacate in 3 weeks for community rezoning. That's when I smelled a rat. My suspicions were confirmed by Eddie, a local handyman and self-proclaimed UFO enthusiast, who stopped by while patching a neighbor's fence. Over a beer, with a toothpick dangling from his grin, he spilled the tea. Pamela was planning a swanky realtor gala to woo investors for luxury vacation rentals. Her modern McMansion was too small, too sterile. She needed something rustic, iconic. My cabin. She bragged to her HOA cronies that she'd seize it through fake violations or abandonment loss. I wasn't just mad, he was livid. This wasn't a spat. It was a calculated theft of my grandfather's legacy. The thought of Pamela turning my home into a backdrop for her wine-soaked Instagram reels made my skin crawl. That night, under a full moon, I sat on the porch with black coffee and hatched a plan. Defense wasn't enough, I needed to make Pamela regret ever eyeing my land. I rigged the cabin with hidden cameras, inside the chandelier, behind the elk head, even in a hollowed-out coat rack. I installed pressure sensors on the windows and swapped the doorbell for a speaker that chimed, then purred, "Hope you're invited." But catching her wasn't enough. I wanted her humiliated. Enter the glitter bombs. Inspired by viral prank videos, I crafted indoor traps with non-toxic, biodegradable glitter rugs, drawers, even a chair rigged to launch sparkles when sat on. Then I played the long game. I hiked, read, painted for the first time in years, and let Pamela think I was slipping. I left town for days, leaving the cabin looking empty but baited. 2 nights before her gala, I overheard her at the general store, telling an HOA lackey to bring extra rows. "Lucas is gone," she said. "I have the keys." Keys. My mistake. I'd lent her a spare once for a misdelivered package. Her downfall. She'd copied it. The night of the party, I parked my Jeep near the state park, hiked to a ridge overlooking the cabin, and watched the live feed on my phone. Pamela arrived, unlocked my door, and strode in like she owned the place. Then it happened. As I crouched behind a cedar, the glitter exploded. Pamela's scream was Oscar-worthy. Her guest suits and sequins flailed in a sparkly blizzard. One woman sobbed, thinking the cabin was cursed. A man yelled about biohazards as he clawed glitter from his beard. Every camera angle was gold. Pamela stared into one, shrieking my name, sealing her guilt. Justice sparkled brighter than her diamonds. The next morning, I sat at the Pinecrest Diner, replaying the footage over coffee. Pamela slipping like a cartoon villain. Guests fleeing, coated in confetti. Perfect. I planned to send clips anonymously to the HOA board. But then Eddie burst in, grinning like he'd won the lottery. Heard about the glitter apocalypse, he said, tossing a newspaper down. Judy at the post office saw Pamela buying tin shampoos and a shop vac, looking like a disco ball after a bar fight. I smirked. Good. Maybe she'll think twice about breaking and entering. Eddie leaned in. She's claiming you gave her permission. Says you signed a form. I snorted. A form I signed while out of town? She's desperate, Eddie said. Word is she's calling an emergency HOA meeting to slap you with community endangerment penalties. One guest claims glitter gave her a phobia. Another says confetti triggered his asthma. I choked on my coffee. They broke into my cabin and cry victim over party supplies? Eddie shrugged. Pamela logic. Rules only count when they suit her. I stared out at the misty ridge. I'd planned for her lies, but not her rewriting history to paint me as a glitter terrorist. I couldn't let her spin this. I called my friend Sarah, a paralegal who'd once saved me on a tax dispute. I laid out everything: fake notices, the break-in, the gala. She was blunt. Lucas, your footage is a slam-dunk trespassing case. You're on private land, outside HOA reach. File a complaint, and she's done. She sent a checklist. Collect all HOA notices, backup videos, get witness statements. Eddie swore to testify about Pamela's scheme. Another neighbor, Maria, offered dirt. Pamela had tried to turn her barn into a community yoga studio 2 years ago, then filed fake complaints when Maria refused. While I built my case, Pamela went full propaganda. Flyers appeared on mailboxes, her airbrushed face beaming under slogans like "Preserving Our Elegance." Her HOA Facebook post called the gala a charitable event, ruined by a vindictive neighbor's explosives. Comments were mixed. Some bought her sob story, others smelled BS. Then Eddie sent me a bombshell, a screenshot from Pamela's group chat. A guest bragged about sneaking in like frat kids, and Pamela replied, "What's Lucas gonna do? Glitter us." It was proof they knew they were trespassing. With Sarah's help, I filed a sheriff's complaint for trespassing, unauthorized entry, and vandalism. Pamela's crew left glitter and sticky wine stains everywhere. A deputy confirmed the case was solid. The glitter became legend. Hikers asked if I was the glitter bomb guy. I clarified. I was the guy whose home got invaded by HOA snobs, with a knack for sparkly justice. Teens wanted Pamela got glittered shirts. Meanwhile, Pamela's empire cracked. A neutral HOA board member quit, posting a scathing letter about her entitled "Rain." Gossip spread like wildfire. At the next HOA meeting, Pamela looked like a faded starlet, her martyr act falling flat. Then she tried a new tactic: wellness forums in her backyard, with herbal tea and a whiteboard scrawled with cabin conflict resolution. She ranted about lawless wilderness and glitter trauma, implying I'd rigged lethal traps. A neighbor asked why she was in my cabin. Pamela snapped about tough community choices. The phrase became a meme. Eddie wore it on a shirt. A Jeep sported a "glitter isn't a crime" sticker. Pamela doubled down with a laminated letter under my door, claiming I faced social probation for public distress. Laughable, but dangerous. She believed her own hype. I mailed my evidence: fake notices, screenshots, videos still to the sheriff, county, and HOA board. Then I met Janine, a journalist known for exposing HOA scandals. She devoured my story, laughing at the footage but sobering at Pamela's smear campaign. Her article, "Glitter Justice: HOA Overreach Sparkles Out of Control," dropped days later. It detailed my harassment, included video clips, and went viral locally. The HOA Facebook group exploded. Most mocked Pamela, some defended her, but her narrative crumbled. She shut down the group and canceled meetings, but a petition to oust her gained traction. Pamela showed up at my gate, clipboard in hand, a garish sun hat flopping. "I'm here to apologize," she cooed. "Let's move forward, neighborly. Drop your claims, clarify the glitter wasn't harmful, and I'll end the social review." I crossed my arms. "I have you on video breaking in." The glitter was biodegradable. Her smile faltered. "We don't need courts." "Neighbor to neighbor. Trespasser to landowner," I shot back. She stiffened. "See you in court." "Good," I said. "I'll bring the glitter." She sped off, dust swirling. 2 days later, an unmarked envelope arrived, HOA letterhead, threatening a lawsuit for emotional distress, defamation, and booby trapping. Her grievances: glitter anxiety, ruined Louboutins, lost investor deals. Sarah laughed it off. Pamela had no case. We countered with trespassing, damage, and defamation claims, including repair costs and wildlife board confirmation of my land's exemption. Pamela posted a tearful Facebook plea for healing, but comments roasted her. Neighbors had seen the article, the videos. She wasn't a victim, she was caught. Small claims court was anticlimactic, a dingy room with a no-nonsense judge. Pamela, in a gold-trimmed blouse, brought color-coded folders. Her lawyer droned about her trauma and mockery. I handed over videos, chats, and notices. The judge asked Pamela if she had written permission. She stammered about implied access. He cut her off, ruled for me, dismissed her claims, and ordered her to pay damages and fees. "If I see another glitter distress case," he deadpanned, "I'm retiring." The room snickered. Pamela looked gutted. At the next HOA meeting, tension crackled. Pamela's sob story flopped. Maria, a retiree who'd never spoken publicly, stood. "This isn't about your well-being, Pamela. It's about us wanting a leader, not a dictator." Eddie called for a vote. Pamela was ousted near unanimously, replaced by Maria. She fled, heels clacking. Maria gave me a letter exempting my land from HOA rules forever. Peace settled in. Then Pamela's final jab. A county inspector arrived, citing anonymous complaints about my plumbing and wiring. I showed permits. Everything checked out. Pamela's last paperwork grenade fizzled. Rumors swirled she was selling her house, moving to her cousin's. Nobody cared. Maria hosted a community BB cribs, cornbread, applause for me. "It took guts," an older man said. I shrugged. "I just wanted my cabin." Eddie gave me a flash drive with the glitter footage edited into a mock trailer, complete with epic music and glitter vigilante titles. Teens made it a TikTok hit. Maria used the saga to teach new HOA board members about overreach. Pamela's lawyer sent a letter dropping all claims, her signature shaky. I kept it with the others, a reminder of resilience. Glitter still lingered in my porch cracks, sparkling in the soon a symbol not of chaos, but of victory. Spring brought quiet. I fixed my canoe, painted sunsets, and started my grandfather's trail. Neighbors visited, bringing pies or tools. Maria gave me a thank you note from the board, praising my restraint. Kids hiked by, awed by stories of my grandfather's mule. A realtor once eyed my land. I shut her down. The cabin stood stronger, not just a refuge but a testament. Pamela's final Pachygia cracked flute, a glittery heel, a note saying, "Even," went to storage. Her bitterness didn't touch me. Summer glowed. The lake shimmered, the cabin basked. I hung Eddie's glitter ornament in my window, inscribed "Sparkle with Truth." Justice wasn't quiet, it was loud, messy, and sparkly. But it landed, teaching me peace is earned, not given. Pamela wanted my home. She got a legacy of defeat. My cabin, my ridge, my peace untouchable, glittering mine. Word count: 6,900 characters.